Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring you the latest Liverpool news and transfer news and much, much more. I have missed this stream. I haven't streamed since Friday myself, but I have missed you guys and speaking to you guys about Liverpool, about the transfers. We will have a big stream tonight. I'm absolutely certain about that. Alexander Isak could be on the way to Liverpool. Could he? I hope so. I certainly hope so. It is between Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike for the new number 9 for Liverpool, certainly in terms of reports going forward. Milos Kerkez, Paul Joyce literally just tweeted about something about Milos Kerkez just about half an hour ago in terms of him coming to Liverpool. He pretty much, and his father confirmed last night that he was coming to Liverpool. So anyone that's seen that is unbelievable. I can't believe what he has actually said and what he has been saying. If I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd be absolutely fuming. But Milos Kerkez looks like to be the guy that comes in the door next. Florian Wirtz, obviously, this week is the week for Florian Wirtz. Friday is the medical booked. Let's hope we get that over the line this week and we finally see Florian Wirtz in a Liverpool show. We'll speak about a little bit on Robertson as well, where his future lies, because obviously Kerkez coming in. Where does that leave Andy Robertson? Is Tsimikas the one that's going to go out? Is Robertson the one that's going to go out? We're going to be talking about that, and we're going to speak about many, many other things as well. Quansah, Fofana links as well. But yeah, what a weekend of news. You know, Milos Kerkez, Florian Wirtz last week with the breaking news of him signing for us last week, with an agreement being done between Leverkusen and Liverpool, and also with the medical booked this week. Also, a little bit on who else you could be talking about in terms of strikers. So Isak or Ekitike right now, but is Alvarez or Osimhen in your minds, Liverpool fans? Let me know in the comments tonight. Welcome everyone. If you have joined us, make sure you do smash that like button on the video. It helps us out massively in terms of the growth for YouTube. It would help us out massively. 707 subscribers now. 750 subscribers is our next goal. Please make sure you do subscribe if you are new. All your latest Liverpool news and also Liverpool content as a whole. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Let's get underway with the main man himself, Alexander Isak. So, Fabrizio Romano said yesterday that Alexander Isak has become Liverpool's dream target since day one, but it remains complicated. It remains complicated. And I think this report has been quite consistent regarding Alexander Isak. Talksport also spoke about we're interested in Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon. But regarding Alexander Isak, I think he's always been the dream sign. He's always been number one target. He's always been a target for Liverpool. But the thing is, with Alexander Isak, Newcastle have done well. Newcastle did win the Carabao Cup. Newcastle did get Champions League football. Therefore, to prize Alexander Isak out of Newcastle, it would take a lot of money. Not only that, does he want to leave Newcastle that quick? Despite them, they are doing very, very well themselves. They have got a good project going on. Does he want to see what it's like in the Champions League with Newcastle first, maybe the first year or two? Let's see with that. But Alexander Isak is my dream sign in terms of number 9. So it wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool certainly had on the radar. I've always thought about this with Alexander Isak. I think, why not go for him? What's the worst that can happen here? Throw a bid down, throw something down, see what it takes us. It might lead us to Alexander Isak saying, "Oh, are Liverpool serious about me here? Do I want to go to him?" Florian Wirtz did. Florian Wirtz was on his way to Bayern Munich. That was pretty much it. Liverpool threw their hat in the gauntlet, threw their hat in the circus, and they got their man. Liverpool need to try. If Alexander Isak is your number one target, Liverpool, go and try and do it. That is my advice on that. Don't harm in at least trying. If Newcastle rejects us, Newcastle rejects us. Simple as that. Nothing else. At the end of the day, if there's our number one target, we want to go get him. Go as much as you can. But also, the reports of Hugo Ekitike will not go away. We've been saying this for the last few months now on this channel. Hugo Ekitike is the one that's been mentioned the most. He's the one that's been most reported, the highly likely had to happen to Liverpool. And that seems the way. He seems to be plan B behind Isak. Quite similar profiles in terms of the way they play. But also, Hugo Ekitike is not good as good as Alexander Isak. That's a big problem. but he certainly is an option. So Romano has said Hugo Ekitike is a concrete option for Liverpool. Regular contact between Liverpool and Hugo Ekitike's agents for the striker. So, but also Man United are involved as well. I've inquired about Ekitike. Chelsea have always been there and thereabouts with Ekitike. Will Liverpool get Ekitike over Chelsea and Manchester United? I think if Liverpool do put in the groundwork and certainly put in their name for Hugo Ekitike, what are the odds of him choosing Man United and Chelsea over Liverpool? Very low right now. If we're absolutely honest with ourselves, very low. He will probably choose Liverpool if we are serious about it. Regarding those two teams, I just think it probably comes down to how much do we value Ekitike right now, and how much clubs value Ekitike right now, because there were reports of him valued at like 85 million pounds. Through that's what Frankfurt certainly valued him at. Do Liverpool pay that? I wouldn't. Would you guys at home? I don't think Liverpool would. I don't think Man United and Chelsea. Possibly, I think Chelsea could. Man United have got to be very, very careful, obviously, with their sales at the moment. They're looking to get players off first before I think they're buying anyone else. I know they got Cunha over the line, but with Mbeumo, that started taking a long time. They certainly need a striker. Gyökeres has sort of rejected them reportedly. So it'd be an interesting one with that Hugo Ekitike. I think Man United and Chelsea need to act now if they want Hugo Ekitike before Liverpool do come in. And I think this will come in after. I think Liverpool look at sales after Kerkez, if I'm honest. I think once Wirtz is over the line, which is this week, Kerkez will follow next. Then I think Liverpool certainly look to sales and make some money back, therefore looking at other players as well. So John says here, all strikers are expensive. That's the issue, isn't it, mate? You got to work out, who is really worth that money in terms of strikers. Strikers have always been expensive. Even back in like the 90s and the 2000s, strikers were the most expensive ones. They're the ones that put the ball in back of net. Putting the ball in back of net is the ultimate goal of football. That's what you've got to do. As soon as you get on that pitch, your idea, your tactics based around getting the ball in the back of net, and the strikers are the main ones that do that. Therefore, they are the most expensive. But in this day and age, you've got to really look at it. I don't think Ekitike is worth £85 million. And if we are willing to pay £85 million for Hugo Ekitike, why not slap another 20, 30 million on there and try to get Alexander Isak? Because he's 10 times the player for not much a different price in terms of the value of the club's putting that. So for me, if you are willing to pay that amount for Ekitike, for me, you've got to go get Alexander Isak or try go get an Alexander Isak for me. And I'll always be consistent with Ekitike. I thought, I think it's a good signing if he comes in with someone else. If we get rid of Jota and Nunez, I'll happily bring Ekitike in and another striker or another forward that can score goals. Like Alvarez, for example. Alvarez and Ekitike is a good double buy for me. But I think Ekitike is the main guy. Nunez goes out, Ekitike and Jota's options. Bit dangerous. I think we could get away with it because we've got Wirtz, we've got Salah, and we've got Gakpo to score goals. But regarding Ekitike, I think it's a big risk for the money they're asking for. If they're asking for like £50 million tops, I think I'm happy for us to be in the Ekitike race. But when it goes up to 70, 80 million pounds, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. We've already been burnt with Nunez, and that we don't want someone that's a potential striker now for that sort of money for me. And that's what Nunez was. Gyökeres, I'm surprised Liverpool haven't put the hat in there for Gyökeres. Someone asked me that earlier, and I'm thinking, and they were like, "Oh, why?" Someone asked it on our TikTok page. They said, "Why do you think that Liverpool haven't put the hat in the Gyökeres race?" And I think it's because of the profile of player. Like, if Isak is number one dream signing for Liverpool, is the one that they're basing everything off. Ekitike is much more like profile in terms of the way he plays, getting in behind teams, bit of pace, trying to stretch teams out. I think Ekitike is more like that without Isak, but Gyökeres is just basically an absolute gunman, get in the box, get some goals. I would, if you're asking me right now, if I can't go get Isak, Gyökeres, Osimhen, and Alvarez, all three would be above Ekitike in my view on that. Ian and Gel, how are we doing tonight, guys? How are we doing? Isak will not come in, I would, for Osimhen, says Jen. Also, we need to resolve the Konate situation. We absolutely do. And I brought it up like a couple of months ago now about the Konate situation. I think there was not really much talk about Konate, but I think we were talking about Trent and him going for free. And then that's why I brought Konate up. I thought, we can't let this happen to Konate because obviously Konate's contract runs out next year. And I said, we're going to get into the point where we need to offer Konate a new contract this year. And if not, we've got to sell him. And that could be a big, big problem. There was a report yesterday that Konate was asking for big wages. I don't think that's true. I don't think Konate is going to be asking for huge, huge wages. He certainly won't be asking for Salah Van Dijk levels. I think 200k he might be asking for, but we've already spoken about this before. 150, 160k, 170k tops maybe for Konate is acceptable because of what doesn't help him is availability, which certainly knocks a few thousands off for me. Seems like Nunez is leaving. A new striker is a must buy this window. Irrespective of the price tags, I believe we should pay the money for any strikers we want to bring in. I sort of agree with that, Sunjan, a little bit. I do. There will be more sales before we go again in the transfer market, says Jen. If we get Isak, Osimhen, and we would be good to go. I still rate Dan's. I do like Dan's, Justin. I absolutely agree with it. I do like Jen Dan's. I thought last season, before I did go on loan, I thought he was probably alongside maybe Jota, our best finisher of the club, most clinical finisher of the club. I think Salah's quite clinical, but I don't think as clinical as a Jadon Dan's or a Jota when they're on it. If Konate does not want a new contract, we need to sell. I mean, that's what it is, Jen. We've got to get it sorted. We either pay him a decent amount. I think we've got to really try our best to keep him because Konate is an absolute vital part in our defence. And when we're losing Robertson potentially, we've already lost Trent. If we lose Konate as well, that's three of our original back four. We're losing in one summer. And I know we've got brilliant replacements coming in. Kerkez coming in, Frimpong coming in, and whoever replaces Konate, I don't know about that. I've not really seen anyone linked with Liverpool in terms of centre backs, but it's a big change. I don't mind change, but we still need. For me, I would personally get rid of Tsimikas and keep Robertson in the background. That's what I would do. We're going to speak about Robertson though, what that latest reports are. But let me know your thoughts, guys, in the chat. Anyone else? Alvarez, Osimhen. I know Jen said. Was it Jen that said Osimhen a little bit further up? Yeah, you prefer Osimhen, says Jen. I think we offered Osimhen though. Wages are quite. He's asking for a lot of wages, and Al Hilal sort of rejected him for that. And it's a tricky one. That I think Galatasaray sort of are happy to pay Osimhen's wages. I think Galatasaray are favourites right now, probably to sign him. But then I think he's a brilliant striker, though. He's an absolute brilliant striker. But again, we've got to make sure we get the right deal as well. And I'm not the one that I'm not paying the wages. But at the end of the day, we can't go crazy with certain wages on players that haven't proven themselves in the top league. We need to get rid of Konate, mate. Look good playing alongside Rolls-Royce. He don't make that. I sort of agree with you there, Chris. Sort of a little bit agree with you there because I do think Van Dijk makes anyone look good. But I don't think Konate needs Van Dijk to look good. It might need Van Dijk to look better, but I don't need Van Dijk to look good because Konate is absolutely sensational himself. We will not sell Robbo and Costas. One will stay. I think it's a big mistake getting rid of Robbo over Costas. But if Robbo wants to go, and we're not offering him a new contract, then who are we to sort of hold him back? Double his wages seems fair. 200k way too high. How about an incentive contract to him? Yeah, I mean that's a good idea, that Jennifer. I mean, look, offer him like 150k or something like that, Konate, and then if he wins, like how we do with like transfers, like Verts, for example, his add-ons in his contract. If he gets this, his transfer, he gets add-ons for us. You can do them into contracts, incentives. If he reaches a certain amount of appearances, he gets another 20k onto his contract. Like in 2 years' time, your contract goes up to like 190k, 180k. We could easily do that. 160k, and then if he wins the Champions League and he plays a certain amount of appearances in those competitions, then he goes up to that 200k. Certainly do that. It also gives him the chance to aim for that money. And that's what we've always been about in this wage structure, is to push. If you want the best pay, you've got to work for that best pay. And that's sort of, I absolutely agree with that. I believe Konate's situation will be resolved, same like Salah. I hope so, John. I really do. We will not get Isak or Osimhen due to wages. I don't know what's Isak on. Anyone know what Isak's on wage wise? What does Isak? 1 second, guys. Let me have a look. Let me have a look for this one. Isak wages. It'd be interesting to see what he's actually on. How much is Isak? 120k a week. 120k a week is what Isak's on. So what would he be offered at Liverpool regarding wages? Probably 180, 190, maybe it tops 200. But that's a pretty decent wage at Newcastle to 120, if I'm honest. But it's certainly been worth anything, Newcastle. It really has. And like I said, if players like transfer fees and wages, if they put the work in, if they make a big difference to your team, then I'm absolutely delighted with how much you pay. It makes up for it. Van Dijk was seen as expensive. And look at him now. Good evening, Prakash. How are you? Hello, you'll never walk alone. How are you doing tonight, Prakash? Hope you're very, very well, my friend. Have you seen that, what Alex Cook said about Isak? I know, was it TalkSport talking about Isak being an option, and Anthony Gordon as well? I didn't see specifically there'll be returns. I didn't see specifically. We cannot be held to ransom by Madrid or Snake Brother. Trent Snake Brother. Simicast's worst left back in the club's history. Please get rid. He's not the worst left back in club's history, Kev. I won't say he's not Robbo's level, and he never will be. And I would get rid of him over Robbo, but he's not the worst left back in. We've had Konchesky, we've had Flanagan, we've had some poor left backs. Alberto Moreno is another one. Straight off the bat. What people forget is Rich and Michael are doing. I like how you talk. Jen's talking here like she knows Rich and Michael like from down the pub. What people forget, Rich and Michael are doing the transfers this time. They were not messed with, and they would negotiate for the best deal. And that's exactly what they did with Florian Wirtz as well. Because obviously, Leverkusen wanted 126 million for Florian Wirtz. They got that down, and they did well to get that down. And to the point where £100 million. It's not even a British record fee for Florian Wirtz. It's not even a British record fee until we start winning things, and that goes on to the bonuses. Kerkez said he's looking forward to learning from Robbo. Jennifer, Kerkez is doing a madness. I'll be honest, Kerkez is doing an absolute madness, and I won't be hypocritical here, because if that was a Liverpool player, what Kerkez is doing right now with his dad on. It was like an overlap. Was it an overlap sort of thing? So it looked pretty much like the overlap from what I saw. But yeah, I don't like. If that was Liverpool, I wouldn't like Kerkez doing that to us. The way he's acting, basically saying he's a Liverpool player. And that is it a slight warning potentially in like a couple of years' time when Kerkez is at Liverpool and Real Madrid come in and he's doing the same thing? We won't like it, but I still, I'll back Kerkez. I do like him as a player. I think he's probably a brilliant person as well. But yeah, if I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd be fuming. Nunez, Elliott, Quansah, Jota, Chiesa all need to go, said Kev. I think that's probably who are going. Maybe there's not really words about Jota. I've never seen any reports about Jota going, but it'd be interesting to see what happens with Jota. As Coach said, Liverpool are open to spending 150 million on Isak. I hope so. I've been very, very interested if it's 150 million. I can't see us going that high because of spending for Wirtz. Spending it on the sales, actually. If we can get, I think we can get at least the Wirtz money back for sales. Easy. If Nunez and Diaz go, because Diaz still could potentially go here with the links for Fofana as well, I think we certainly get that money back for Wirtz. I think there will be players coming in that may surprise us. Jen, how about this? You said there may be players coming in that surprise us. I want everyone in this chat right now, on everyone to put a random player in the chat that Liverpool might go in for and might spend on, and let's see if any reports come out. It's got to be a random player. It can't be one that we're already linked with right now. So it can't be Isak. It can't even be Fofana because we're linked with him today. Give me a random player in the chat, guys, and let's see. I'll remember this, and I'll write them down. I'll watch the stream back, and I'll write your options down. Let's see if we reported to them in the coming days, the coming weeks, maybe the coming months. And we need Alvarez ASAP, says Kev. Must be Ibu, can't afford. Must keep Ibu, can't afford any more changes at the back. Worth best pairing in the Premier level or Cologne. Absolutely, Danino. I agree with that. We can't be making too much change at that back line for me. And like I said, if if Trent's already gone, obviously, if Robbo goes as well, it's a big change, massive change. And I think we're going to change Robbo anyway in terms of Kerkez being the main one, main left back. But we've got to keep Robbo for me in the back room, in the back part of Kerkez at least. Isak could get wages 5k per goal. Eze's card, that's a shout, Eze's a shout. I absolutely love Eze. Absolutely love Eze. I don't know if anyone watched the England game against Senegal. They got played off the park, but Eze was an absolute outstanding player. Outstanding player. And he obviously hits the homegrown stuff as well. We need to look at the homegrown players. Alvarez not coming back to England anytime soon. Messi said Beast returns. I'd be very shocked Beast returns if your prediction comes up there. Diaz is not coming back. Barca are pushing for Williams. I don't know about Williams, It's very, very strange, Williams. There's always the reports with Williams is usually happy with Bilbao, happy to stay with Bilbao. But again, it's with Barcelona, it's what they can afford. What can they afford? That's the biggest question. The reason why they didn't get Williams over the line last time is because of money. So it's a very difficult one, that is. Ivan Toney said Jen. That's a good shout as well, if I'm honest. If we're looking for a striker, not short term, but if we're looking for someone that's at least covers until 1 second. I'm just going to change the camera. This one keeps. How's that? Is that a bit better? It's a bit blurrier, but it just keeps going. I don't know about you guys, but the camera, for some reason, I don't know if you could see it on YouTube, but I can see it on the streaming site. It keeps refocusing, and it hurts my eyes. So I don't want it to hurt your eyes at home. So I'll put it back on. If I move around, it refocuses constantly, and I don't like that. But is what it is. Grealish says Kev. I think Grealish. People are very, very underestimating Grealish, and I don't think they should. I think what's ruined Grealish is Pep Guardiola. And I think you've seen it with Phil Foden as well. These two are two of the most technically gifted players in this league, Grealish and Foden. But I think they're held back massively by Pep Guardiola trying to play too much football and not letting these two play how they can play. Grealish was one of the best players in the league before I went to Man City. Let's not forget what he did at Villa here. He was an absolute outstanding talent. The guy was fouled the most in the league for a reason, because they couldn't stop him any other way. So I think Grealish has got something. Would I be willing to take a punt on Grealish? Because I think he has absolutely got something there. I think he needs the right team and the right manager to unleash it. Could that be Anna Slot? Who knows? Haaland said, Jen, imagine that the internet would break for at least 2 weeks alone. If issue Barcelona have Nico Williams' money, there's no way they can afford Diaz either. I think that's it. The issue in it, Zero, because if Diaz, I think Diaz would be open to go to Barcelona. I think that would be his number one choice if that came about. But the issue is Barcelona can't afford him, and I don't think we're willing to drop down too much in price tag for him. Grealish, fantastic player, available for 40 million too. Grealish will go to the Blues, says Jennifer. Which Blues, Jennifer? Chelsea, Everton, or Peterborough? Where's he going? I presume you mean Everton. I saw something. My mate messaged me earlier saying Kyle Walker's going to Everton. I ain't seen anything, but my mate messaged me that. I'm thinking that's a bit random. Dejan Kulusevski, that is a shouting Prakash. Again, another very, very good player. Probably overlooked in terms of players people are looking at in terms of other clubs. But I think Tottenham could have something special going on potentially. I won't say special. I think they could do better under Thomas Frank. So I can't see Kulusevski leaving anytime. Not this season, certainly. But it'd be certainly one to look out for Kulusevski, Prakash, because if Tottenham have another bad season again, the likes of Kulusevski will be looking elsewhere. They've got to. It's too good to be back down there. He's a Champions League player for me, Kulusevski. Wissa says Cave, that's another good shout. Wissa. Everton said Jennifer, yeah, Everton. Is that why Grealish? I've not seen anything on Grealish actually, but I think it'd suit Everton, But I would actually take a Song said, what Alex Song? The former Arsenal player, Alex Song. He was a baller, by the way. Van der Ven from Spurs, Jennifer. There's a couple of good Spurs players, I would take. Like Pedro Porro is a good shout. Van der Ven's unbelievable. Kulusevski, absolutely, I think he's a brilliant player. I think Bergval's a very, very good player as well at the age that he is. But again, I think with the Spurs players, it's going to be hard to get them right now because of the new manager. I think they'll want to see what this season's like. If Spurs were to flop this season, then I think we should look certainly at them in terms of bringing players in. Van der Ven would be certainly a good one to look at. Yildiz quality player, said Kev. So you all are coming up with some brilliant names, So Kev said Yildiz, Kulusevski, Wissa. Obviously, B said Messi earlier. That's not going to happen, B, is it? Jen said Haaland, but she laughed at the same time. So I don't know if she's being serious or not. Ivan Tonic also said that. Guila said Kev, which I thought was a brilliant shout. And Kev also said Eze. Kev, you've got a lot of balls in this bingo tonight. I've got a lot of balls in this bingo. If we lose Diaz, the only capable one replacement is Kvaratskhelia, but wages will be a huge issue. Kvaratskhelia ain't going anywhere soon. We missed the boat with Kvaratskhelia in January when he became available from Napoli. He's not leaving PSG anytime soon. That PSG team, by the way, that's going to be the PSG team for the next 5-6 years at least. They'll keep adding to it. But they've got an unbelievable team there that can go win multiple Champions Leagues if they keep their players like that. And yeah, so I can't see Kvaratskhelia going anywhere soon from PSG. But yeah, he's an absolute diamond of a player, isn't he? Absolute. He's the kind of player that makes you fall in love with football. Does Kvaratskhelia? He's that technically gifted, direct attacking player that just gets you off your feet. And I love players like that. Kvaratskhelia would be an unbelievable buy for Liverpool, but we did miss a trick massively with that one in January for me. And imagine if we sold Nunez and got a Kvaratskhelia in. That could have been an option because we could have got rid of Nunez for £80 million and we could have brought Kvaratskhelia in January. And then everyone would be like, well, let Diaz go then. And then we'll go look at a striker then. Kvaratskhelia and Gakpo as our wing options with a striker coming in as well. That would be perfect. So yeah, Lewis Steele did actually say that Liverpool are not done and will go for number 9 as well. Paul Dry said last week that we're not done as well. So I think we got a number 9 player like an Isak or an Ekitike. I think we do bring in a number 9 this summer. What number 9, you asked me? I couldn't even tell you. Like I said, the main one that has been coming up all the time, every single week, we talk about every week, is Ekitike. Is the one that's the most reported about, the one that's most likely to happen. But again, Frankfurt need to knock that money down if they want to sell Ekitike to Liverpool, certainly, because Liverpool are paying 80 million for Ekitike. Not a chance. Barcola said Kev and Jen. That's a good shout as well. Barcola's a good one. Must get experience improving. Bagsman, Alvarez or Isak, the cherry on top of the cake, said Danny. No. I think Gyökeres is also a very, very good bagsman that we could get. Salah, Vara, Isak, Verts, that would be 0. That Salah, Kvaratskhelia, Verts, and Isak is a dream team front four. It's literally, if you go back to when Real Madrid used to create the Galacticos, and what they always try to do that now, like they got Vinny, they got Mbappe, they got Rodrigo, they got Bellingham there. That's like a Galactico sort of front four. That would be the best four in world football. Salah, Kvaratskhelia, Isak, and Verts. But let's make that we've got an opportunity here, Zero, to make that a little bit happen. Also, bar the Kvaratskhelia, we could still have Salah, Isak, and Verts. That's a possibility. It really is. Musiala is the dream. Kev, I think Musiala is a no-go. I think with Musiala is pretty much like Verts, and again, it's a bit different getting off Bayern Munich than it is Leverkusen. And I think we mentioned that on the stream that we did when we did dream signings a couple of months ago. Verts was my number one, like one of my dream signings. We did 3 dream signings, me and Patricia, and Verts was one of mine before we were linked with him. And I think Musiala's was Patricio's. And I said, well, Wirtz is quite similar, but I think Wirtz is more gettable than Musiala because obviously buying from Leverkusen is a lot easier than buying from Bayern Munich. I don't think that's a possibility for me. Yeah, but we got Wirtz off Bayern Munich, didn't we? As you would say. So let's talk about Milos Kerkez. Milos Kerkez. What has he and his dad done? So this is what his dad said last night. It's only Liverpool for us, and we're not going anywhere else, and we won't talk to other clubs. Everything is done between us, personal terms, obviously. We just need to sort out some sort of details, basically a done deal. And so before I came on, half an hour before I came on, this is what Paul Joyce said. Liverpool are spending 40 to 45 million on Kerkez. So there's not been any bids or anything like that, but that's what's going to happen according to Paul Joyce, the bottom left back, but with the intention that he starts the majority of the matches, with which leaves Robertson with some soul searching to do on what he wants to do in the next stage of his career. So I think it's pretty much, as Jen says there, Kerkez is coming. I think that's pretty much happening. I think everyone in his world knows that Kerkez is coming now. And if he didn't know that Kerkez was coming, his dad and himself confirmed that last night. So Kerkez is going to be the next one. Once Floyd versus over the line, I think Kerkez is going to be Anfield bound in the coming weeks. Certainly for me, probably next week for Kerkez. This week, Wirtz. Next week, Kerkez. Could it be Fridays all the time? Frimpong Friday. We had Frimpong Friday. We're going to have Florian Friday, hopefully this Friday. Could we have Kerkez next Friday? Or is it Milos Monday? Either way, I think Kerkez will get over the line next week. And when Paul Joyce has come out and saying, look, we're spending that on this guy, it's pretty much happening, if we're honest. But yeah, it's like I said, if I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd be fuming the way he's gone about it. And I hope he doesn't do the same to Liverpool. But, he's going about it just as much as what Trent did, really. It's just more public. Wirtz and Kerkez, here we go, said Jen. Absolutely. I mean, they two are pretty much Liverpool players now, and we will see a here we go certainly soon for Kerkez. And obviously this week, Friday, we will finally see Wirtz in that Liverpool kit, hopefully. If the medical goes all well, I'm sure the medical will go well. Touch wood, the medical does go absolutely well. So, obviously, with Kerkez coming in, the word and the reports on Andy Robertson right now is that he could be going. The boys talked about Atletico Madrid yesterday. They wanted him possibly to get him for free or at most £5 million. So Romano has had his words on Andy Robertson specifically. At this stage of the summer, Andy Robertson has made no decisions on his future yet. He will take a break and discuss everything with Liverpool, having a great relations with the club and full respect. No talks on the fee will happen until player decides on options. What I think needs to happen now is exactly what's happening. Is Andy Robertson going on a break, taking a break away from football, gather his thoughts, enjoy his time off, and just let him enjoy his life. And at some point, he will have these talks with the club. He will have talks with the club. When you're in holiday mode, you don't want to talk. You don't want to think about this, but it will give him time to think and process everything. He knows Kerkez is coming in the door. He knows it, and what he's got to decide now, and what Liverpool need to give him now is maybe assurances that he does play. He won't want to just stay and not play at all. Kerkez is going to be the main left back, but he wants to certainly put. How much is he going to play? He wants to certainly put a shift in. Robertson, you see how hardworking he is, how humble he is. He don't want to be sat on the bench and watching someone else take the limelight. He wants to do his bit. That's the thing. That's what he wants to do, his bit. He don't just want to be sat there and watching someone else take over. If he plays a good amount of games or a good amount of minutes, it does help also with 5 subs in the Premier League. He will be certainly, for me, I think he will be and he should be used as much as we can. Champions League, we've got obviously Carabao Cup, FA Cup, got 4 competitions to go at. I think Robertson should and probably will get some good minutes for where he is in his career. Then it's up to Robbo. Is he willing to take that? Is he willing to drop his minutes down? Is he willing to be I won't say second fiddle because I think that's quite disrespectful. Is he willing to be a understudy to Kerkez? Is he willing to be a backup to Kerkez? That's the question. And this needs to be decided quite quick, really, because if Robbo stayed, then we need to look at getting Kostas Tsimikas gone. But if Robbo does go, then what would the talks with Kostas Tsimikas is going to be different, isn't it? So I think Robbo has a big decision to make, and if he goes, it'll hurt because Robbo has been a big part of us. Has been a big part of us winning anything, and for me, is behind Ashley Cole for being the best left back in the Premier League, certainly in his prime. Ashley Cole was a different level. I think Ashley Cole was just one of the best left backs ever. But Andy Robertson, it's a shame that his prime didn't last as long. Obviously, maybe a few more years. But Andy Robertson was unbelievable in that Klopp side and was the epitome of a young Klopp system. The effort, the hard work, the energy. Andy Robertson will always be a Liverpool legend. And it's a shame if he does go, but I understand it. And someone keeps mentioning Trent and the thing. This could have happened to Trent if he handled it correctly over the last 2 years. There'd be certainly Liverpool fans that will hate him no matter what. You're a Scouse or you're a Liverpool fan, you should never leave Liverpool. You should go there. But there'll be a lot of us fans that are thinking with Trent, if you're going to try something new, go try something new. But the way he's handled it, and even now, what he's saying now, the things he's saying, we're training faster over here. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. I just think he's done it. It doesn't sit right with me at all. In fact, when Hooks comes on here this week, we're going to speak about Trent because I've tried avoiding talking about Trent. I want to be a bit more positive. I want to talk about chance of people coming in. He's not a Liverpool player anymore, so I couldn't give two craps. But I will certainly address it with Hooks. Hopefully Hooks comes on this week. He's still not well, by the way, Hooks. So hopefully he is back this week and back on it so we can talk about Trent. Because a tweet he did last week about Trent, it's got like 4 million views or something on Twitter. It absolutely went viral. So just getting some more chats up here. The only problem with Jennifer Jota constantly on the LFC NHS. Yeah, I mean Jota's very unreliable. And that's why I think with Jota, that's why if Ekitike is to come in, him and Jota being a forward options for me, it makes me go, I'm not a big fan of it because I think Ekitike is more potential. Tony coming in where Trent is a snake. I mean, like I said, I don't really want to talk about Trent, but he's not a Liverpool player anymore, but I certainly will be with Hooks because I want his view on the situation as well. But yeah, let's talk about Darwin Nunez. Obviously, Napoli came in. Yes, we saw the reports yesterday. Napoli coming in. AC Milan have looked at Darwin Nunez as well. Saudi Arabian teams looking at Darwin Nunez as well. Atletico Madrid wanted Darwin Nunez, but Napoli are the one that are favourites currently for Darwin Nunez. And according to a report today in Napoli, Darwin Nunez has said yes to join Darwin Nunez to join Napoli this summer. So according to a report in Napoli itself, Darwin Nunez has said yes to Napoli. That's huge, and I think it's all accepted. Romano said he's definitely going. As Darwin Nunez definitely leaving Liverpool. Discussions have been taking place between Darwin Nunez and Napoli, but also the Saudi Pro League and other clubs around Europe are interested in him. So, where do you guys in the chat? Where do you expect Darwin Nunez to go this summer? Is it going to be Napoli? Right now, Napoli are the favourites. I think that could happen. Do you see it being a potential swap deal with Osimhen as well? That could be a potential. But again, Liverpool's got to agree to that. Liverpool's got to agree to having Osimhen because Osimhen wants big wages. Jennifer there says, Danino, just don't want another 80 million experiment. And I think Ekitike is not proven. I think Ekitike, right, from what I've seen of Ekitike, and I've seen him mainly like under 21s, I've seen him in 21s, and obviously Champions League with Champions League. I've seen him in Europe with Eintracht Frankfurt in Europa League. what I've seen of him, I think he has games where he's very, very good, but then he has games that is non-existent. And again, he's a young lad though. He's a young lad. He's going to get inconsistency, but it's a potential player that, again, like Nunez, could not work. We've already burnt his fingers with Nunez. Do want another Nunez, and he might turn out not to be a Nunez. He might come and absolutely smash it. But for me, if Ekitike was to come, he needs to come in with another striker that's proven to get goals for me. And then I would be happy to leave Jota and Nunez go. I'll let them both go and bring in Ekitike plus another striker. Gyökeres. Liam Delap would have been all right. If Ekitike came in and Liam Delap came in at the same time, that would have been all right. But obviously, Liam Delap's got Chelsea. So, João Pedro, another one, decent. He looks like he's going to Newcastle. Cunha's gone to Man United. There is some decent players out there. Again, it's the price of another of them. And certainly with Ekitike, it is all about potential, like Jennifer said. It is about potential. Just going to go on to what was said also about João Quansah. Because João Quansah, there's not really been much in terms of talk about Quansah. And is he going to leave this summer? Are we going to get rid of a centre-back like a Quansah or a Gomez? And this becomes a big issue because someone also mentioned Konate earlier. And if we don't sign Konate down to a new deal, then we have to sell him this summer. So what does happen to like Gomez or Quansah, for example? Because according to Greg Evans, who's a reliable source from The Athletic, Liverpool are willing to let Quansah go for around £40 million. But how many are we going to have a defence this season? Are we just going to go all out attack? Is that what's happening? Imagine Quansah going and Konate going. For me, I think we need a centre back now before those two go. Quansah and Konate going. That'd be confusing because and we've got proper attacking fullbacks as well in Kerkez and Frimpong. Virgil's just going to be sat there by himself. Gravenberch is going to have to adapt again to a centre back role because it's going to be. I can't see that happening personally. Quansah and Konate going would be a madness, but we are willing to sell Quansah, and with Konate, we don't know what's going on there because a new deal has to be agreed, and if it isn't agreed, then he's got to be sold. Otherwise, going for free next summer. Napoli or Atletico would be great if they got into a bidding war, said Jennifer. It would, I think, yeah. Just whoever bids the most for Nunez can have him. I'll take it. I'll take anything for Nunez. Packet Watsits. We cannot afford to have a player this not proven and does not turn up for games, said Jen. I mean, yeah, we took a massive risk for Nunez and it didn't pay off at all. And I don't want to see that again. Like, if I've already insured my TV for Nunez, so I don't want to reinsure it for someone else going into this season. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. Also, Alvarez was another player that Liverpool fans have been talking about. There ain't going to be a potential swap deal with Alvarez because I know Romano said that there's not going to be a potential swap deal with Nunez and Alvarez. But I've been speaking about this for a good month or so. There was a report that Atletico Madrid wanted Nunez to partner Alvarez. So there's never going to be a swap deal for that. Never. Because Atletico Madrid want a partner for Alvarez. Is Alvarez an option? Everyone's got a price. And if Liverpool were to put in effort to get Alvarez and put in a good price down, I think Atletico Madrid could open the door to let him go. But like I said, it needs to be a price that Atletico Madrid sort of stand up and pay attention to with that. So yeah, let's talk about another player potentially linked with Liverpool as well, according to Loic Tanzi, who is a reporter in the L'Equipe, obviously French newspaper, French outlet, saying Liverpool have begun discussions with Malik Fofana's agents. So Malik Fofana, obviously young lad at Lyon, winger, also replaced Barcola when Barcola left to PSG. Fofana, very, very talented young player, bags of potential, can certainly take on players. If you like a direct player, Fofana's certainly that player. Very, very technically gifted, skillful. If Diaz is to go, I think Fofana's a very, very good option to bring in, because for me, if Diaz is to go, we need either a ready-made player, like a Prem-proven player sort of thing, like at a top level to come in for Diaz, or a young lad, not a young lad, but like an upcoming talent that has bags of potential. And Fofana's got that, because we've got Gakpo there. We have got Gakpo there. If Diaz was on his own, then we need to replace like for like. We need to play someone that's actually really, really good already. Because we have got Gakpo there, then it's not an absolute. It's not the worst thing in the world to go get a potentially good player. And Fofana, for me, is one of the best players in Ligue. So I would be open to Fofana coming to Liverpool if Diaz is to go. That's if Diaz is to go, because if Diaz doesn't go, then we don't really need a winger on that side anyway. But yeah, we could move Mo to 9 if Frimpong goes right, if we can't get a proven striker. I hope not, Jennifer. I hope not. I think we'll be wasting Mo, and I think in games he can go there for me, but I think with Frimpong coming in attack, when we're attacking teams in transition, it would be literally 2 wingers. And I think Gakpo and Salah, whoever plays on the left wing, would be Gakpo, Diaz, or Fofana. They will come inside and be top forwards anyway. And that's then a big issue if Mo plays out wide, because if Mo plays in the centre, because Frimpong's not a Mo Salah winger. Frimpong's a bar-line runner that will stay wide. Salah doesn't really stay wide. So it does give us those options. It does give us other ways of playing. And I think that we'll see that this season under Arne Slot. Slot, you've seen already these tactics this season, likes to change it up a little bit. And Frimpong and Kerkez as signings absolutely do that. And again, with Bradley there, right back as well, different ways of playing. I think it all depends who we're playing. I think we can use Salah up front. We have seen Salah up front a couple of times in the past, maybe for Klopp sometimes. But as a number 9, because we don't got a striker, I don't think that would work for me. I think if anyone else were to go as a false 9, I think it would probably fall in Wirtz, because it's that central area. And I think Wirtz suits a central area more than Salah does, if that makes sense. But Wirtz is an unbelievable signing, because he will create so much space for everyone. Whoever we have in attack, Wirtz will create space just by simply being so good on the ball. He'll attract defenders. The way he dribbles attracts defenders. So he'll create so much space for everyone. And I think that's where Salah will get more in the box this season anyway. Even if he plays on the wing, which obviously we probably will do, Salah will get more goals. Not more goals this season, but he'll get more opportunities to score this season. Not with just Wirtz passing him, just because of the space that Wirtz will create alone. Chiesa obviously is pretty much confirmed leaving as well this summer. Romano saying he's leaving. He's going. Italy is the priority. The Chiesa thing again. It's another shame, isn't it? It is a shame with Chiesa. Slot absolutely deserves his flowers and deserves his peas this season for being an unbelievable manager, but he also needs to, not be criticised as such, but come on, Slot, you have treated Chiesa a little bit wrong here. We should have seen more Chiesa. We shouldn't have seen Nunez being played over Chiesa. We shouldn't have seen players like Jota and Nunez, who've been crap all season, get a chance of Chiesa. But it is what it is. Some transfers don't work out, and this is why opportunistic signings don't tend to work. And Chiesa was that. And it's a big issue. And thankfully, so far, the 3 signings that we are making, Frimpong, Wirtz, and Kerkez, are opportunistic. That's just ambitious signings. And that's what we need to see more of. But yeah, obviously Chiesa going out and potentially Fofana coming in could be the way forward in terms of forwards, because if Chiesa goes, we certainly need some more help in the forward line. Chiesa's gone, Elliott's gone, Nunez is gone. That's Elliott probably will go. That's like 3 attacking sort of players there in that not forward line, but in that area of the pitch. And we're only looking at a striker. We could potentially bring another forward in anyway. Wirtz coming in obviously for the Elliott position. Szoboszlai will move back to an 8. So it'd be interesting. Jennifer said he'd hopefully pick up 30 million for Chiesa. I'd be very surprised if it's 30 million. What did we get him for? 12. We're going for 12, and his value's probably gone down since we got him. So I'd be very, very surprised we got 30 million. It'd be unbelievable. If we got 30 million, it would be unbelievable. Oh, yeah, Prakash, you are the assist king, my friend. You are coming in like prime flying verts right now with the assist. Because don't forget, fixtures out tomorrow, says Prakash. Well, I had an idea earlier. I thought, you know what? I've got a meeting in the morning, you see, so at 9 o'clock. So I can't really see the fixtures straight away. So what I might do, and what I was thinking about doing, is doing a live stream for the fixtures tomorrow morning. After I've done whatever I need to do at 9, I will hopefully be on here after that, about 9:30, guys. About 9:30, and we'll do a live reaction to the fixtures coming out for Liverpool, maybe about 10, 15 minutes, something like that. So make sure you do tune into that about 9:30 tomorrow. I've already made a thumbnail for it, so I've already got that ready. So make sure you do tune into that, and let's see what Liverpool get in the fixtures, the opening day fixtures. When do we play Man United? This is what we look for, isn't it? I'm going to speak about this tonight as well, because this is what we look for. Who's our opening day fixtures? Who's our opening day fixture? Who is our last day fixture? And when do we play Man United? They're the 3 first things you look at, innit, as Liverpool fans. I'm absolutely certain. And when do we play Man United? And then you start looking at the Christmas period. Who do we play Boxing Day? Things like that. But for me, you look at the opening game, last game, and when do we play Man United? That is my first 3 things to look at. So tomorrow, join us about 9:30 in the morning, and we will be reacting to the fixtures of Liverpool. Maybe just before that, depending when I get done in the morning. But yeah, make sure you do join me for that tomorrow morning, and also join me back again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for more Liverpool news, transfer news, everything like that. Like I say all the time, guys, please make sure you do. If you've watched tonight, if you enjoy content, if you love the Liverpool content, love Liverpool news, transfers, everything like that, we want to get more content out there. We've got another video on the way soon when Florian Wirtz signs as well. And we've got some big news coming up also this week. Hopefully Hooks is back this week for mine and Hooks special. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Lewis Steele's on this week. Lewis did say he's going to come on this week. He was a bit busy last week. I couldn't do, I think it was Friday, I couldn't do all the weekend. So therefore, Lewis didn't come on then. So hopefully Lewis Steele comes on this week. So make sure you do subscribe to the channel for that, for an exclusive with Lewis Steele on the transfer news. And also, thank you everyone that has subscribed so far and liked. But make sure you do like the video tonight, guys. If everyone that's been in chat tonight, thank you everyone for joining. Like the video. It helps us out massively. Trust me, it helps us out in terms of the growth of YouTube. But yeah, if you are new, subscribe to the channel as well. 707 subscribers so far. 750 is our goal now. Thank you everyone that has done so far. We've got some big, like I said, big plans for this channel. Without your help at home, we can make it even bigger, this channel. See, if we get, I always say it all the time, if we can get to the where I want it to get, this channel, then the content gets even better. I got some big, good, very good plans for content for you guys at home. And Jen says, Lewis, yeah, hopefully is this Lewis Steele. Hopefully he's coming. I've messaged him today, so hopefully Lewis Steele is coming today, this week. I'm sure he'll get back to me in tonight at some point. So I'll let you guys know if he is. But fingers crossed. Thank you for joining me tonight, guys. Jennifer, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And like I said, the more likes we get, the more subs we get on the videos, it helps us get bigger as a channel. And like I said, if this channel gets bigger and better, the content gets better. Trust me, I've got some big plans. Thank you for watching tonight, guys.